Hi everyone, I'm CCYamato, and we're here to talk about chapters 77 and 78. You may be thinking that, wait, didn't you do a video or a stream for chapter 77 last month? Yeah, I did, and then I didn't edit it. Just, forget about it. We're going to talk about 77 again. If this is the first time you're seeing one of my reviews, thank you for choosing me out of who knows how many Cardcaptor Sakura reviewers there are. I am also, let me just pitch this now, I am in the middle of doing a podcast with the host of Moonstar. It's called Keepers of the Cloud, where we're going through the Cardcaptors dub of Cardcaptor Sakura. That's the English one by Novana that people don't like because they changed her name to Sakura Avalon and Tomoyo became Madison Taylor, and they cut out a lot of the stuff that people like. But if you want to know how much stuff actually got cut, because it's maybe not as much as you think, on this channel there are other Keepers of the Cloud episodes. One is actually going up in a couple of days after this is being recorded. And until then, let's just talk about the chapter. When we left off in chapter 76, Sakura and Shaoran were about to be showered in magic arrows. So that's where we're picking up here in chapter 77. Let me just see here about... Yeah, so they're picking up here in chapter 77, where we reveal that Toya still has the ability to stop time. This is an ability that he showed off, or that we found out he had back in chapter 67, 68-ish. Toya has the ability to stop time now, which comes in handy because all of these arrows have gone right around Sakura's brand new shield. You'll notice that this is a new shield design that is different from either of her older ones, presumably because even though Sakura is using the Sakura cards, she's actually still using the Dream Wand. So parts of Clear Card happened, but the Clear Cards themselves are gone, or at least they're not accessible to her, or at least most of them aren't. So it's an interesting blending of the sources. I do like this shield, by the way, overall, because it's actually symmetrical. I've never liked the original Cloud shield. I never liked the coiled wing shield that Shaoran has when he uses it. So I'm a sucker for symmetry, and I like this better shield. So anyway, we skip ahead here, find out, like I said, that Toya can stop time, and good old humble Toya, he's not really bragging about it. When did you learn to stop time? I don't know, I've been able to do it. Everyone else freaking out. Meanwhile, Yukito actually did know, at least at some point, because, Yukito and Toya, they're bros. So, they actually share secrets. Ariel and Mizuki get together to help him extend his time-stopping powers because he can't actually stop it for that long. And the rest of this chapter and the next chapter are going to take place in this stopped time. And I think we're going to have kind of a Goku fighting Frieza thing, where even though, right back here, Toya said that he can only stop time for 2 seconds. That's 2 seconds of real time, maybe, but presumably at least a couple of minutes in character time are about to go by. It's also worth mentioning here, I think this is just a nice little touch, that Ariel explains that the arrows that are being fired at them are basically an auto fire spell that was cast presumably by the Squid Clan. We've seen them, we saw that way back in chapter 30 something, where Kaito had to fend off a volley of arrows. So this is basically revealing that they have been firing these arrows at Kaito non-stop for months. And, we've never seen them as the audience, so they're aimed at Kaito. So that's just something that he's had to, continue to fend off on his own. And now it's become the rest of the cast problem, because, again, they're on auto-fire. Even though Kaito has turned himself into a dragon and sealed himself off into another dimension, as soon as the doors to that dimension opened, the spell was there he is, and starts shooting him. So anyway, how to actually deal with the arrows? Well, they decide that it is now time for Akiho to join the fray, because, let's see, it's right, is it right here? Yeah, okay, it's right here. So now they don't have to deal with the arrows, because they are held up for the moment, so it's now time to focus back on, the dragon, Kaito, who is in this who is in this world, and he won't come out. That was the last thing we saw in the previous chapter, that the dragon got to the edge of the dimension, but he stopped short of it. It's like, initially they thought maybe he can't leave, but no, he definitely could if he wanted to. He's just refusing to leave, which is, of course, something that Sakura will not accept. She promised that she would bring the dragon out. That promise, of course, was made to Akiho. That's where, as she explains in this sequence where she's flashing back and explaining that, even though Kaito has been erased from all their memories, like, the feelings of him are still there. And like I said, Sakura has promised Akiho that she is going to bring Kaito back. Since he's not going to come out for her, she decides to call in the next step of this plan. So she's going to call in the next step of this plan, which is to have Akiho brought to her, and so she gets brought over. She's going to get brought over by Kiro and Yue with a loner flight card, because this is mirror casting, because flight, I think in the previous chapter, was given to Shaoran, or it was given to Sakura. It's actually probably Sakura has flight right now, and Shaoran is using the fly card. So a mirror copy of flight is given to Akiho, because we just want to keep the butterfly motif going here. And Akiho is brought to the barrier to talk to the dragon, which, again, she does not know who the dragon is, but the feelings are still there, even if the name and memories are gone. So Sakura, this is a lovely page here, where Sakura says, the dragon won't come out, and Akiho says that, okay, fine, I'm gonna go in there, which gets the dragon's response to, no, I don't want you to come in here, so I'm just gonna flee. So that's how this chapter ends. After Akiho resolves to go in and talk to the dragon decides, no, it's like, no, I'm not having any part of this conversation, and it just leaves. It flees. So that's that one. Overall, it's a short chapter, but it gets a lot of the necessary exposition out, where we see the stakes are raised with the magic arrows. Then we see that, okay, like, Sakura and Shaoran cannot talk to this thing, so they bring Akiho in to talk to it, because they know that whoever this is, from their perspective, they don't know who it is, but whoever this is, they're important to Akiho, and Akiho wants them back, so she's the one who has to actually reason with the creature. So, moving on to chapter 78, we have here excellent cover art. All the cover arts for these chapters have been great. I think Sakura has been getting most of them in the previous, several dozen chapters. It's her series. And also, helpfully, Clear Card has kind of remembered that it's her series, because it's felt a lot like Akiho's series for a long time. I've gone on at length about how Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card feels a lot more like they wrote the Kaito story, and then they decided to put it in Cardcaptor Sakura. So anyway, moving on to chapter 78, we pick up where we left off on chapter 77, where the dragon has flown off and is trying to escape, facing accountability for his actions, basically. Kaito does not want to talk to Akiho, because he doesn't want to own up to the huge mistake that he made, but we'll get into that. The next thing we get here is actually this great shot. Like, I like this panel right here where the moon is dissolving. You're seeing the real moon in the background. So, I guess in this world, or in this fake reality, no one looks at the sky for a living because they didn't notice or raise the alarm how, like, there was an enormous fake moon in front of the moon that's at a much more appropriate size in the sky. It's like, just, it's details. Don't pay attention to it. It's fine. Like, the moon's the wrong size. Who cares? People like having giant full moons. Anyway, they go on a chase that I'm sure when we get to the anime, this will be a much more drawn out, like, fly through the city kind of thing. I mean, that's how anime is always going to be. They're always going to, like, try and fill up time. And this is actually a sequence that I think could be really cool, where they actually have to, like, fly through, like monuments or landmarks of Tomoeda while they try to chase down the Kaito dragon. So I think there's a lot of potential for this sequence to go off really well. But anyway, they do eventually catch it after, like I said, in the manga, not that dramatic of a chase, but they do catch up to it relatively quickly after Akiho pleads that she just wants to talk to it. Just want to talk. And of course, the dragon can't speak, but Akiho, being as well read as she is, she has a method for speaking to it. So, blink once for yes, don't blink for no. And she begins by asking it, a series of questions, which the very first one, here it is. Whoops, went right past it. Here we go. There we go. So, the first one, are you the one who rewrote this world? Blink. And, she says, she goes on to say that, this is she does go on to say that this is a very nice world, and she really appreciates, the life that she has, but also recognizes that this world was changed for her at the expense of losing someone very important to her. To which the dragon answers in the affirmative again, that yes, he changed it for her, which is then followed up by another good question. This whole chapter is actually a really good Akiho chapter, which, again, I just lamented the fact that the series has basically been an Akiho series, not a Sakura series, but, she earned this chapter, maybe because the story earned this moment of Akiho confronting Kaito about this plan that he has been implementing for the entire series without actually asking her what she wants. So, having interrogated the dragon enough, Akiho says that I want my favorite person in the world back, which is, it's such an interesting, this is a line of dialogue that is of contention, with people reading the English dub, because the word for the English dub that Kodansha is using is my favorite person in the world, rather than what the Japanese text uses, which is taisetsu na hito, which is my most important person in the world. Thematically, they fit. They're still the same. I'm not quite as wound up about it as some people are, but I do think it's a curious choice that they decided to. I don't know the word that I want to say, because I don't think it's softening it. I think it still carries the right meaning. It still carries the meaning that, the person is important. Honestly, yeah, if it had actually been the most important person in the world to me, might have also been a good or a better translation. I don't know why they didn't just use most important. They used favorite. They're not going to say the person I love the most, because that, Cardcaptor Sakura and Cardcaptor Sakura and Clear Card have always talked around the word love. So that part's not surprising. It does not surprise me that they decided to use a different word in, English and Japanese. That part I get. It's just, I just wanted to take a moment and talk about how this translation choice has ruffled some feathers. So anyway, getting back to it, takes that as her cue. Akiho wants her favorite person back, so that's what I'm going to do. So she pulls out. Finally, I called something. I called something important. Where is it? Here it is. Rewind. I've been saying that rewind was going to be an important part of this resolution for the last year. I got it. I finally got one. I got a prediction right. The rewind card was going to be important. And the way that she actually uses rewind right now is that all she actually does is turn Kaito back into himself, more or less. He does show up. He does show up looking a bit Birdman-y, with the wings on, which Kiro and Yue speculate that it's because the spell couldn't be fully undone with rewind. I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure it's just because they thought it looks cool, but good enough canon reason. It's also just because come on, everyone else has got wings. Why wouldn't Kaito have wings? He actually commented on that, oh, okay, I keep making callbacks. I think the end of book 4, when everyone met in the sky, for a confrontation with Kaito before he rewound the day, he actually commented like, "Oh, look at that! Everyone's got wings." Well, here you go, Kaito. Everyone's got wings, and also you have wings. So we're all having a nice big old wing family or wing party. Yes, we're all having a big old wing party. So anyway, the rewind spell has turned Kaito back into a human. So now he is able to have a more in-depth dialogue with Akiho. And we continue on with good dialogue. This is a well-written sequence where Akiho, asks, why'd you do this to me? Like, why? And he says, because I didn't think that you needed me to be happy. Oh, here's your reward, Kaito, for just the most dense object in the universe. I've been saying for years, we've all been saying for years, people who've been following Clear Card have all just been slamming our heads on the desk. It's like, you big moron. Like, you've been going out of your way, doing this thing for Akiho, and you think, I don't know, you ever thought of asking her? You ever thought, like, maybe, sure, your heart might be in the right place. You're making her life better, but, like, you ever thought that just maybe you should double check with her? Like, what's the worst she's gonna say? She's gonna say, no, please don't erase yourself from my life just to, I don't know, fix my life. Like, I don't know, maybe work out something else. It's just, I don't want to take away from the scene. I really like this. I think that this was a well-written series of frames. I don't want to take away from that. I'm having trouble competing with the joy of Kaito's reveal and Akiho's reaction. It's like, couldn't Kaito have put some other magic to ensure her family can't use her that way? I suggested that Kaito should just kill the entire Squid Clan, but it's not that kind of series, so, like, to be entirely honest, if he was going to go behind her back and solve the problem in some way, I'm pretty sure, like, murdering her entire family and not telling her about it might have been better than what he did. Like, I stand by that. I actually think that killing the entire Squid Clan would have been a more efficient way to solve Akiho's problems than what he did, which was, rewrite her life with a magic book. It's not that kind of series, though. This isn't a shonen series, it's a shoujo series. We don't kill people here. As much as I think that Kaito still might die by the end of this series, yeah, we don't kill people here. So, carrying on, great frame, by the way. Also, this one, like, where you have, like, Kaito's wing form, these are great. I love the flight, like, the long trails coming off here. This is beautiful. This like, Clamper on their A game here for this chapter. And I'm glad I own it physically. I've not been buying Nakayoshi's for years. So that part's not actually really that big a deal. But yeah, like I said, like, Clamp's just been on their A game for this chapter. It's beautiful. Anyway, Ariel calls up Sakura and mentions that, hey, by the way, we're still trying to stop time here, and we're all about at our physical limit. We can't keep this up anymore. So the magic is about to break, and Sakura knows that, okay, well, I gotta go do something, which I believe is what's happening up here in this little frame right here. I believe this is the magic breaking. Like, this is gonna be where some arrows come through. Yeah, like, it's still there. It's just like space being warped. Sakura asks again, what do you want me to do, Akiho? Because, like, she's given this choice over to Akiho ultimately. And Akiho says that, yeah, she doesn't want this world to be the way it is at the expense, or she doesn't want this world to be the way it is if it's fake and at the expense of her most important person, her favorite person. So we get this great frame right here, which I'm actually going to go over to the full screen version of. Here it is. So here's the full screen version of this. It's a 2-page spread, and I want to just point this out because Clamp, they did a little clever thing, because they did a great callback to the original Cardcaptor Sakura. So as you can see, it's the they redrew the frame. They even got the bubbles in the same way as Sakura says her famous phrase, "Zeitai daijoubu dayo," which is, surely everything will be all right. Which is not exactly how they translate it here. They actually say, "I'm sure it'll all work out," which is how I translate her spell. Sakura's spell is, "Everything will surely be all right." That's generally been the way that the fandom has translated that. I've always personally used the mantra of, "Screw it, it'll work out," which is a lot closer to what the translators at Kodansha seem to have chosen, is that "I'm sure it'll work out." I don't think it quite has the same punch, but it's still accurate. Like, it works. I'm just not totally sure that's the best translation for the moment, but it works. Anyway, the magic breaks, and oh, look at all of these arrows coming in. We get good frames of our boys defending their ladies as Kaito covers up Akiho, and Shaoran summons some kind of wind shield of wind, as well as Kiro and Yue are helping, in theory. I think they are. I think this is Kiro and Yue's magic blocking some of these arrows. But anyway, this is obviously not a sustainable thing. It's time for Sakura to make the final move while everyone runs defense for her. So that is where we are right here, where Sakura pulls out. Not only does she pull out Rewind, but she pulls out the time card that was reconstructed from a few chapters ago. And just remember, following in the manga continuity, this is not the same time card as the time card from the anime. This is a completely different time card made out of Sakura's mother's pendant. Presumably it has, I don't know, a lot of the same abilities. It was used a few chapters ago to free Kaito from his cage. And now it appears that it is, if I'm going to speculate here, time and Rewind are going to be combined together for Sakura to go back in time. A thing that I believe, if I remember the Clamp multiverse properly, like going back in time and changing history is apparently considered a taboo thing. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out. But if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Sakura. My speculation is one of two things is going to happen here. Either Sakura is going to go back to the moment that Kaito was about to activate his plan and rewrite the world, or way crazier, she's gonna go all the way back to the beginning of Clear Card and head off Kaito even earlier than that. It's one or the other. We won't be finding out until the beginning of November. I don't think that there are any. I don't think there are any more pauses for Clear Card scheduled until basically it ends. Let's see here. Yeah, October 31st is when the next chapter will drop. Now, how much longer the series has gone, and welcome back to this segment where I speculate how much longer of Clear Card do we have. The Clear Card was actually supposed to have ended by now. It was due to end at or around August, but they got extended for another, I think, book's worth of chapters, which means that we are well into, I believe, book 16 now. So as such, I think book 15 would have ended at chapter 75. So we just finished chapter 78. I think each book has about 5 chapters in it, 5 or 6. So that means that we've probably got 2 or 3 more chapters, which means we're probably going to finish sometime around the end of the year or early spring. I actually want to say that. Oh wait, no. I think I'm gonna have to look this up when I'm editing this. I think actually there may have been an announcement that the series would end next April, on Sakura Day. Sakura Day being April 1st, because that's her birthday. So the series actually may be going until then, which means that we still have November, December, January, February, and March. We would have 6 chapters left. There are 6 chapters, give or take, to wrap up the series, which that sounds probably about right. I'd say we have 2 or 3 more chapters to kind of finish up the story proper. Sakura has to go back whatever's going to happen, Sakura has to go back in time and change something. We don't know exactly what, but she's going to do that. She's going to go back in time and change something. And that's going to probably take a couple of chapters. Again, whether or not she goes back in time and stops Kaito from, like, doing his rewrite at the end of chapter 70, or she goes even further back than that and stops, like, the entire series from happening. I've gone on record saying that, like, you know, if they rewind Clear Card so that it never happens, I'm just gonna burn Clear Card. I'm gonna walk that back a little bit. I'm gonna walk a little bit away from that cliff. I still wouldn't be happy with that. I would not appreciate that. I also would not appreciate the theory that I also had that, like, Clear Card could serve as a jumping off point for Triple X Holic Ray, or just Holic Ray. I don't think you pronounce the XXX. I did lament about that back in, like, chapter 76 or whatever, where I did not spend 7 years, almost 8 years with Clear Card just for it to be a sequel series for a manga that I have no intention of reading. Oh boy, I'm slipping into the negativity realm. Let me just go ahead and end by saying that, again, this was a beautiful chapter, and despite that I have given this series a good bit of grief for, I feel like, being a Kaito Akiho story that they shoved into Cardcaptor Sakura's universe, I don't think that story was inherently bad. I just don't think it needed to be in Cardcaptor Sakura. But either way, this chapter was very good, and that's why I maintain that I think that this story would have been good. I think that the story would have been good if it had focused more on them in their own continuity. Look, the takeaway is that this chapter was very good. Clamp was on point here. I really, really hope that they can tie this all together in a nice little knot. Look, I'm here till the end, okay? I've been here for this long. We're going to keep going. So thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you at the end of October, or possibly, I mean, as the way these things keep going, you'll probably see you in December, because it seems to work better when I do these two at a time. But thanks for coming, and I'll see you in the next video.